Part 2. The Sanai of Bismillah Khan. Before you read, do you know these people? What instruments do they play? Second, think of the Sanai, and the first thing you will probably imagine is a wedding or a similar occasion or function. The next would probably be Ustad Bismillah Khan, the Sanai maestro, playing this instrument. First, Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill unpleasant sound. Pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemakers. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. A barber of a family of a professional musicians who had access to the royal place decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi, and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chambers and was played by a Nai barber, the instrument was named as Sahanai. The sound of Sahanai began to be considered auspicious, and for this reason it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any northern Indian wedding. In the past, the Sahanai was part of the Nobat or traditional assemblance of 9 instruments found at royal courts. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. Third, as a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played gilli danda near a pond in the ancient state of Dumrao in Bihar. He would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Cheta, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg, a prize given by local Maharaja. This happened 80 years ago, and the little boy had travelled far to earn the highest civilian awards in India, the Bharat Ratna. Fourth, born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather, Rasul Buks Khan, was the Sanai Nawaz of Bhojpur King's Court. His father, Pagambar Buks, and other paternal ancestors were also great Sanai players. Fifth, the young boy took to music early in life. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Banaras, now Varanasi, Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncles practice the Sanai. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Buks to the Vishnu temple of Banaras, where Buks was employed to play the Sanai. Ali Buks would play the Sanai and Bismillah would sit captive for hours on end. Slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangala Maiya and the banks of Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunts, where he could practice in solitude. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Sanai. Sixth, at the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference At the end of his recital, Ustad Fayaz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. He soon became an often heard Senai player on radio. 7. When India gained independence on 15 August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Senai. He poured his art out into Rag Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Tryst with Destiny speech. 8. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Jahir Sahab was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. The King of Afghanistan was not the only one to be fascinated with Bismillah's music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah play at festival that he named a film after the instrument called Gunj Uti Senai. The film was a hit, and one of Bismillah Khan's compositions, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be a nationwide chartbuster. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's ventures in the film music were limited to two: Vijay Bhatt's Gunj Uti Senai and Vikram Srinivas' Kannada venture Sanadi Appanna. "I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world," he says with emphasis. 9. Awards and recognitions came thick and fast. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Tahar Mosik Ustad Bismillah Khan. 10. National awards like Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. 11. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. With the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with a rare happiness, he said, "All I would like to say is, teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music." 12. In spite of having travelled all over the world, Khan Sahab, as he is fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Benares and Dumarao, and they remain for him the most wonderful towels in the world. A student of his once wanted him to head a Senai school in the USA, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Benares by replicating the temples there. But Khan Sahab asked him if he will be able to transport river Ganga as well. Later he is remembered to have said, "This is why whenever I am in foreign country I keep yearning to see Hindustan. While in Mumbai I think of only Banaras and the holy Ganga, and while in Banaras I miss the unique Matta of Dhumrao." Shekhar Gupta, when partition happened, did you and your family think of moving to Pakistan? Bismillah Khan: God forbid, me leaves Banaras, never. I went to Pakistan once. I crossed the border just to say I have been to Pakistan. I was there for about an hour. I said namaskar to Pakistanis and salam alaikum to the Indians. I had a good laugh. 13. Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of rich cultural heritage of India. One of the effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Sahnai every morning at Kasi Vishwanath temple. Ustad Bismillah Khan passed away on 21st August 2006 at the age of 90 after a prolonged illness. He was given a state funeral and Government of India declared one day of the national mourning.